Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Love Island Cast Australia, Dave. I am your host, Chris Phelps, and my co-host, and hopefully with a better impression of an is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
G'day, mate.
I think that's about as cliched as you get with Aussie accents for us, isn't it? Apologies.
No, wait. Let's get another shrimp on the barbie.
It's your Joe Mangle, that Dave, off Neighbours, isn't it? I still watch Neighbours.
Don't be messing with Joe Mangle.
No.
Mangle.
No, I won't actually. The old busybody. I still watch it and Home and Away. But anyway, let's move on, Dave, very quickly. My reputation just ruined by the day.
So, yeah. So it's really ruined, isn't it, by watching Neighbours and Home and Away doing a Love Island podcast? I should have, I think.
Just as well, I didn't actually do a Neighbours one. It'd be a never-ending podcast, Dave.
Yeah. I think the last time I watched it, old Harold Bishop was in there. You had Bouncer.
The dog.
A
long time ago, that, Dave. And the sad thing is, I know pretty much everyone who's followed since. But anyway, let's move on, Dave. So what caught your eye today on Love Island, Dave?
Well, we got to start right at the end there with that bit of a flare-up, haven't we? So, I mean, we said yesterday it was going to start to get a bit of the drama. You know, it's really getting into it now, and that kind of triangle with Sam inserting himself between the self-proclaimed king and queen of the villa, Vanessa and Matthew. I thought that was brilliant. It was just a bit too short. It was all, it was over before it had started. It's not going to be the end of it. But I mean, what did you make to that? Yeah,
I think as this goes on, I had a lot of sympathy for Vanessa yesterday because of Matthew, the way he approached it, the 106 girls and that. But as it's gone on, she's a bit of a nutter, Dave. I'm not forgiving him because I think he's a dick as well. He completely lied and twisted what Sam had said. He's like, well, that's pretty much what you said. Well, actually, it's not what was said, Matthew. You're just doing it to cause a bit of shit. But she doesn't help the situation because the new girls come in and she literally threatened them, didn't she? She's like, I was saying it in jest, but really I was thinking I'm going to make your life hell. And I genuinely believe that. I think she's a fucking head the ball. And then
it's one of those, though, isn't it? Come on. Are you the only person in the world who says, yeah, I said it as a joke, but we all know it's not, I didn't really mean it as a joke. Come on, we all fucking know it's not a joke. So I agree. I think there was that was a little bit of a data point. I wouldn't go as far as to call her a nutter. I would just say she comes across in a very possessive way. And you saw that as well when Jesse, they were kind of prepping Jesse for, Owen to go off on his couple of dates. And you saw Vanessa was straight there. It's like, well, no, you've got to tell him you're mine. And, she had a very different approach to it. So, yeah, I think Vanessa is really possessive. But I think in a different way, Matthew is as well.
Yeah, I do, Dave. I think he's a bit of a dick, to be honest. I think he's obviously, like you said, a very good point that you said on one of the previous episodes about Adam. He's the sort of bloke who goes in somewhere and immediately he gets the women. I'm pretty sure that Matthew's the same. I know that sort of Templeton Peck A-team haircut he's got from the 80s probably isn't. He's more of a polo haircut, Dave, shall we say. But he is a good-looking lad. He's 6'5". Again, he's athletic. You know what I mean? So he will get a lot of attraction when he goes out. And I think, sadly, he's just. I just don't think he's a nice lad. I think he's just going to end up messing himself up in this and tying himself in knots. I don't think he's that clever, to be honest. But I think they just need to be left alone, them two, and just do whatever the fuck they're doing because it's just bizarre. It's great TV, but it's bizarre to watch. But again.
Do you think they need to be left alone? I just think, it annoys me, really grates on me when they keep going, oh, we're the strongest couple in here. We're not even at the end of the first week. And it's like, well, you're not that strong, really. But they just keep on convincing themselves. But I just, there's no way they're going to last at all.
No. And as we're in episode 4, Dave, I completely agree. And as we're in episode 4, a couple of things. I have got complete respect for Jessie. No messing about. She told Ian, whatever he's called, right. But I tell you what, Dave, do you not think if that was me or you in our heyday, you've got continual stream of about 4 to 5 girls telling him he's a good-looking lad, and he simply isn't. And you can actually see that he's putting his head down thinking, my fucking mates are going to be watching this thinking, how the fuck are you actually pulling these girls? Because he was genuinely embarrassed every time they were like, oh, you're so good-looking, you're so attractive. And I'm like, but he's not. And I know it's personal taste. I still don't see it. But when he was going on the date, I was cringing. I know they set Jessie up to say a bit of French and, she wraps her legs around him. But I think even he was like, oh, this is just a cringe fest. So as much as I don't really like him, he's a player. And he had the new girl off straight away, didn't he? Went, well, I'm happy for now. The old Ross or Friends type of chat line. And she I was pissing myself like, you're a wanker, mate. An absolute player.
He is, totally. I mean, it's just... Again, he just tells everyone what they want to hear. And I'm not sure he feels embarrassed. I think he believes. And why wouldn't you believe? If everyone's saying to you, oh, you're really attractive. And they are. The new girls are coming in and they're saying, he's attractive. Again, I don't see it. I did laugh, and Jesse was saying about shaving his eyebrows off because outside the podcast, I'd said to you, he just looks like Eric Barner's character in the rebooted Star Trek, where he's got no kind of eyebrows and a bald head, but he's got no kind of, his whole face is all weird and made up. He is a genuinely weird looking bloke, but it's the hair and the beard. That's what people are confusing, I think, with attractiveness. And it has had me consider whether I should grow my hair and a beard. Because it clearly fucking works for him. The only trouble is I can't grow the other fucking foot taller. So I'm probably still going to be shafted.
If you could grow a foot outwards, Dave, then you fucking won't matter how big you are. If you got a cut like Ovi, you'd be all right, Dave, wouldn't you?
The human tripod. So, yeah. No, I again, if they all think... If we are in the minority, and we did ask Sam because I wondered if it was just us last night, then then maybe we're in the minority, and he is a genuinely beautiful bloke. But I'm still convinced it's the height, hair, and beard.
Yeah, so Dave. He's got a good body on him. There's no doubt about it. He works hard to get what he's got. You can see that, but I'm just not convinced. And I think even now it's going to become like comedy. I think when he gets out, like I say, his mates are going to rip him to pieces. Like, how the hell have you pulled all these girls? Because I just don't. I think there's far better looking lads in the villa than him. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. I do. You can clearly see it. I think Sam's a good-looking lad. I think what's it called, Gerard, who was after Cassie. He'd had a kiss with her. But Dave, let me tell you, Cassie and the new girl, Phoebe. What are you saying, my friend?
I think it all just feels a little bit false. That we had a little bit of that with the US Love Island, didn't we? And I can't help but feel like there's a bit of a game there as well. Just people are very aware they're on a reality TV show, and it's sort of make things a bit interesting, and keep me in the villa for a bit longer. So I'm not buying it, to be honest.
The one thing I would say, and I think what you've just said, is absolute belting.
Just belting.
Just belting. The northern thing.
Analysis,
analysis. That could be it as well. Yeah. It is following, and I know not a lot of people from the UK have watched the US one, but it's following the same beats. Now you've just said that. It's just come in my head because if you think about it, Dave, we get the original Islanders, like in the US one. An Irish lad goes in, Cormac. Like in the UK one, we had Maura. Sam made the point, she's right, that Maura came in, she was a whirlwind. They had Cormac come in, who was basically a bit of a drip one. He didn't do anything. He didn't really create any waves. He went after that Caro who had the daft baby voice, but he just left, didn't he, after a bit of a damp squib. This Owen guy's gone in, done the same sort of thing, but they're all buying into him, aren't they? They're completely buying into his character. Because obviously, you put Owen's name in on Google and you can see him without a beard. I mean, I think I'd probably have a good go against him, Dave. You know what I mean? So, and that's saying something with my big nose. But But genuinely, he's not all that. But then again, you had Maura come in to the UK one saying that she was interested in girls, didn't she? She never had a relationship, but she's interested in girls. We had the girl who was with Cash, or was it Caro? Not Caro. Kira, sorry, on the US one. And she sort of flirted, didn't she, with one of the girls and then ended up with a couple of lads. And then we've got this situation. And obviously going by what the guy at the end of the show said, and the actual voiceover guy, he said they take it to the next level. So obviously there must be some sort of kiss going on there, Dave.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't watch tomorrow's preview, to be honest, so I missed that bit. But again, whether it goes to the next level or not, I'm kind of getting a bit cynical again with that bit in particular. Do I think it's the showrunners kind of prompting people? Maybe. I'd be more inclined to think it's just the individuals thinking, oh yeah, this will spice things up a bit and keep things interesting and you know, have people wanting to keep me in the villa.
Yeah, I think as well, Dave, what I'm getting more and more as I watch this is Maurice is turning into Anton from the UK one. I mean, Anton had everything, didn't he, other than the height, had the body, the looks, everything, but he was just rubbish, wasn't he, until he got with that girl who he's not even with now. And Maurice is doing the same. Cynthia, he's not interested in one bit.
So it's interesting. Could he be an Anton? I don't know. I think Anton was quite funny, whereas Maurice is just a great communicator. You know, he just talks at the end, just doesn't let you get a word in, and it's just constantly fucking going on. So I don't know if I can quite stand him. You know, I think Anton was a bit more understated, and it was those David Brentisms that we kind of warmed to in the end. But I did have to fucking laugh. And actually, now you say that, I'm questioning it, because Maurice is sat in between the new girls, so Phoebe and Anna, and you know they're talking about, you know, chit chat and whatever, talking about the guys in the villa, and then you say, like, if you had to choose someone, who would you choose? And they're like, you know, like, oh, probably Owen. Like, yeah, but apart from that, if you had to choose someone right now, who would it be? He just kept going at it. Like, I mean, I'm right here. You know? I'm the only bloke sat here right now, and they still wouldn't say him. And I just thought, maybe you're right. Maybe he'll provide a little bit of comedy, but I still think he's in the cock quadrant for me, and just I can't see him. And the whole thing with Cynthia just seems hugely cynical to me. It just seems like a calculated move. You know, she decided that she had kind of had feelings for Sam, and then seemed broken when he you know, told her that it was more of a friendship thing. So I think Maurice is just trying to stay in the villa, to be honest.
I agree. I don't get him at all. I think it's interesting. Like I mentioned before, Jessie is becoming a bit of a favourite because she is basically, if I'm not number one, then I'm not nothing. And she walks away from Owen. So I hope he gets his just desserts, to be honest, because he's going to get without new girl, isn't he? So it's a shame, really. But I don't see a compatibility between her and Owen, if I'm being honest, Dave. I really don't. I just think he preferred her to Cartier. And Cartier, to be fair, she's gone within like 12 hours. Oh, I'm not into him. I'm into Adam now. I'm like, we the way we watch it is if you watch a TV show where you've got like, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I feel sometimes that when you watch it, even though it's daily, it feels like between the shows, you've missed a week and there's been a week of this stuff. And then someone will bring you down to earth and go, well, it was only yesterday. And you're like, oh yeah, fucking hell. The emotions of these people are just nonsense. The way they trip in and out of love is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, isn't it? I mean, I guess if Cartier's just thinking it's a numbers game and you've got all these beautiful women throwing themselves at Owen, and in a 2-horse race you came second, I mean, it kind of does feel like you're flogging a bit of a dead horse, because Owen was visibly, and Matthew, they were both like fucking tongues out when the new girls come in, and it was obvious to everyone. And so she probably is making the right move there, because she was all full of the fighting talk yesterday when it was just her and Jessie. She was full of it, wasn't she? I'm not going to give up, and I'm I'm going to put it out there. But yeah, she's like, well, I think she's making the right move. She's flogging a dead horse there. And he's, to be honest, whoever goes with Owen, also flogging a dead horse. Because there's always going to be someone who comes in that's a bit more physically attractive. And I just think, he's just going to jump on any horse that comes along.
I didn't say that, Dave. Anyway, if you want to get in contact with the show, guys, at Love Island Cast on Twitter. If you want to email us, and please get your emails fired in again like we had in the previous series, the Love Island Cast at gmail.com. Dave, have you got anything else to send us out with today?
Not a sausage.
That's great. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye now.